God's message today: this is not the end of your love story. Watch this until the end, because this is the message your heart has been aching for. The one that will shift everything you thought was over. Daughter, I know how tired your heart is. I see the way you've learned to smile through disappointment, to speak faith when all you feel is silence, to pretend like you've moved on when deep down you're still waiting for something sacred, something that feels like covenant, like home, like the love story you once believed in but slowly buried under the weight of reality. But I am here to unearth that hope, to whisper what the enemy has tried to silence, to speak over the ruins of your belief and say boldly, this is not the end of your love story. The pain, the years, the heartbreaks, the false starts, the long waits, they have not been wasted. You did not imagine what I promised you. You are not foolish for still hoping. You are not being punished for your past, nor have you missed the only chance you had. You are not overlooked. You are being preserved. You are not forgotten. You are being positioned. And the love I am preparing for you does not come early or late. It comes right on time, according to my purpose, not your pain. You think the delays mean denial, but they have been divine protection. Because you asked me for something real, not just romance, but revelation. Not just a partner, but a purpose-aligned, faith-rooted, spirit-led union. And that kind of love can't be rushed, can't be manufactured by apps, can't be built on trauma or born out of desperation. It has to be breathed by me, and I haven't forgotten how long you've waited. I've seen the nights you asked, Lord, what's wrong with me? And I want you to hear me clearly. Nothing is wrong with you. The waiting has not been a reflection of your worth, but a reflection of the weight of the blessing. I don't withhold good things. I prepare hearts. I prune timelines. I align destinies. Because what I'm sending is not just someone to walk beside you. It's someone who will know how to walk with you spiritually. Someone who will understand that your love is not a project, but a promise. Someone who will see your scars and speak healing. Someone who has been through their own process so they don't flinch at yours. Someone who doesn't just match your vibe, but mirrors your faith. And even now, as you read this, I am healing places you've hidden, the places you told yourself didn't matter anymore because it wasn't meant for you. But I say it is. Love is still your portion. Not love that breaks you. Not love that confuses you. Not love that you have to beg for. But love that feels like peace and sounds like me. I am restoring your belief. I am resetting your focus. I am stirring your faith not in man, but in my ability to fulfill what I spoke. So don't close your heart because of what hasn't happened. Open it because of what I'm about to do. Don't shrink to protect yourself. Stretch to prepare yourself. Because this isn't just about love. It's about redemption. And the next chapter is going to be so beautiful, so unexpected, so God-ordained, that it will make every year of waiting worth it. I am not done writing your love story. I'm just turning the page. Daughter, as you let this truth sink in, that this is not the end of your love story, I need you to understand something even deeper. Your wait has not been a passive season of emptiness, but a divine process of preparation, preservation, and protection. Because the kind of love I'm about to release into your life requires a version of you that had to be formed in the fire, not the fantasy. I didn't allow the delay to punish you. I allowed it to prepare you, because what's coming isn't ordinary. What I'm building in your life is sacred, and anything sacred must be handled with care, not convenience. You've prayed for a love that wouldn't just meet emotional needs, but would awaken your spirit, your purpose, and your inner woman. And for me to answer that prayer, I had to walk you through seasons where you questioned everything: your beauty, your value, your worth, your timing, not because those things were absent, but because they had to be rediscovered in me, not in people. The love story I'm writing is not one of desperation, but of divine alignment, and that takes time. You see only the months and years ticking by, but I see layers unfolding. I see your healing in motion, your voice being restored, your confidence rising again like a slow-burning fire, steady and unshakable. I see the moments you thought were failures but were really just faith being fortified. I see you carrying the weight of longing with grace, and even when you've stumbled into doubt, I've never disqualified you, because I know what you're becoming. I know what I'm preparing, and I need you to trust me, not because it's easy, but because what I'm doing behind the scenes will one day leave you speechless. While you've been waiting, I've been whispering to someone who will not be intimidated by your strength or your story. They will not be looking for perfection. They will be looking for presence, for someone who knows how to pray, how to persevere, how to hold space for real love. They will recognize you, not by your outer beauty alone though. Yes, you are still radiant, but by the oil you've collected through every season of becoming. You're not late, you're not forgotten. You're being hidden until the moment is right. Because when love comes this time, it will not arrive like a question mark. It will come like confirmation. It will not play games with your heart. It will honor it. And even now, I am removing the residue of every relationship that made you feel like love was too painful to hope for again. I'm cleansing the memories, softening the scar tissue, and lifting the shame that never belonged to you. You are not behind, you are becoming. Becoming the kind of woman who no longer begs for attention, but attracts what is sent by heaven. Becoming the kind of woman who walks into a room carrying peace, not pain. Becoming the kind of woman who doesn't need to chase anything, because what's hers will find her by the hand of God Himself. So don't measure your story by comparison. Don't look at others and wonder why their chapters seem to move faster. Their story is not. Your standard, what I am doing in you, is personal, prophetic, and purposeful. And even if the page seems blank right now, the pen is still moving. Even if it feels quiet, I am still speaking. Even if it feels late, I am still right on time. I am the author of your story, and I never leave a love story unfinished. Daughter, don't close the book. Don't write your own ending based on what hasn't happened yet, because I promise you, what's next will be so worth the wait that you'll cry not because of what was lost, but because of how perfectly I've redeemed it all. Daughter, now that your heart is beginning to open again, cautiously, yes, but genuinely, I want to show you what's coming, so your spirit can recognize it before your eyes ever do. Because the love I am preparing for you won't resemble the temporary comforts of the past, nor the painful lessons that once made you believe something must be wrong with you. This next chapter of love will feel entirely different, not because you've lowered your expectations, but because I've raised your discernment. You no longer crave attention, you crave alignment. You're not just praying for companionship, you're preparing for covenant. And covenant is what I'm sending. The one I've chosen for you won't be confused about your worth. They won't hesitate when they see your strength, your depth, or your calling, because I will have already spoken your name into their spirit. They will recognize your beauty, yes, but more than that, they will recognize your oil. They will sense the weight of my presence in you and be drawn not by lust or loneliness, but by a holy awareness that they are standing before someone anointed for them. This person will not compete with your calling, they will cover it. They will not require you to shrink so they can feel tall. They will honor the ground you've walked and help you rise even higher. Where others saw your independence and were intimidated, this one will see your strength and feel inspired, because they, too, have walked through their own wilderness. And they'll meet you not from a place of lack, but from a place of mutual wholeness. You've learned what it means to survive. You've walked through the heartbreak of being misread, mishandled, misunderstood, and still, here you are, full of faith, full of hope, full of the kind of love that only someone who's been refined in fire can carry you, and that love will be received. Not by someone who takes advantage, but by someone who will steward it well. You won't have to guess their intentions. You won't have to constantly explain your heart. You won't be left wondering whether you're too much for them. No, they will show up with clarity, consistency, and covering. That's what divine love looks like. Not chaos, not confusion, not highs followed by silence, but peace, protection, purpose. And when it begins, don't be surprised if it doesn't feel like the whirlwind you used to think love should feel like. Because this time, it won't be drama. It will be depth. It won't feel like being swept away. It will feel like being rooted. And that's how you'll know it's from me. For God is not the author of confusion, but of peace. Coríntios 14:33. That verse will no longer just be something you read. It will be something you experience. This love will not make you question yourself. It will affirm everything I've spoken over you in secret. It will be an answer, not a test. A fulfillment, not a fight. You won't need to perform. You'll be free to be fully seen and fully safe. So as I prepare you, don't rush. Don't rehearse pain when I'm writing peace. Don't go back to what I've delivered you from. Stay in position. Let me continue to shape your vision so that when this love arrives, you'll recognize it not by how loud it is, but by how deeply it echoes what I've already said. Daughter, this is not the end of your love story. It is the beginning of the part that makes everything else finally make sense. And when you look into the eyes of the one I've chosen, you'll realize God really was preparing me for this the entire time. Daughter, I see how you've carried hope like a secret, fragile but alive, tucked beneath years of waiting, disappointment, and silence. And I know it's not easy. It's not easy to stay open when you've been let down. It's not easy to keep praying for something that seems delayed while watching others walk into the very thing you've cried out for. It's not easy to hold your head high in faith when every birthday passes and you're still alone. But I want you to know that every time you chose to believe me anyway, even when your heart ached and your voice trembled, it moved me. Your faith has not been in vain. Your tears were never wasted. I have collected every one of them, Psalm 56:8. And I have never stopped working behind the scenes of your story, aligning people, places, timing, and healing, so that when this love arrives, it won't feel forced, it will feel full. You're not wrong for still wanting love. You're not too late for it, and you're not too much because of your story. You are exactly the kind of woman I trust with something sacred. You have depth because you've suffered and survived. You have wisdom because you've listened and obeyed. You have grace because you've had to forgive things others never even knew about. And that makes you dangerous to the enemy, because your story carries power. That's why you've felt so much warfare around this area. That's why relationships in your past felt like more pain than peace. The enemy has always tried to convince you that love is a lie, because he's terrified of what will happen when you're joined with someone who sees your light and partners with your purpose. But here's the truth. What's coming is worth the warfare. What's coming is not just emotional connection, it's spiritual acceleration. You'll pray together, grow together, build together. You won't have to explain your calling. They'll recognize it and rejoice in it. And while you wait, I'm not asking you to pretend it doesn't hurt. I'm asking you to be honest with me in the pain and still leave room for promise. Because this waiting season isn't about punishment. It's about preparation. I'm teaching you to trust me beyond what you can trace. I'm stretching your heart to receive more than you thought possible. I'm clearing out everything that made you believe love was something you had to beg for, chase down, or earn. Daughter, when it's me, you won't have to force it. You won't have to chase it. You won't have to shrink to fit inside someone's limited vision. You will be free to speak, to breathe, to rest, to dream out loud. That's what divine love looks like. It feels like safety, like coming home, like confirmation wrapped in kindness. So keep walking, keep watching with expectation, not anxiety. When fear whispers, it'll never happen for you. Respond with the truth. He who promised is faithful, Hebrews 10:23. When doubt says, you're too old, answer it with Isaiah 46:4. Even to your old age and grey hairs I am he who will sustain you. When the enemy says, you're alone, remind him, Psalm 68:6. God sets the lonely in families, because you are not waiting alone, you are waiting with me, and I know exactly what you need, when you need it, and how to deliver it in a way that leaves no doubt it came from my hand. This is not the season to give up. This is the season to plant deeper roots in my word, because the kind of love I'm sending will require the kind of woman who knows who she is even before she is chosen. You are already loved, already seen, already chosen by me. And when the one I've ordained for you appears, it will not feel like a rescue, it will feel like a reward. Stay ready, stay open, stay grounded, because I am not just restoring your hope, I'm fulfilling it. This is not the end of your love story. This is the chapter that proves I write the best ones. Daughter, I know you've looked at the calendar, the mirror, and the milestones past, and wondered if I forgot. You've whispered in quiet frustration, Lord, it's been so long. Why does it still hurt? Why hasn't it happened yet? And I hear you, not just your words, but your ache, your longing, your silent hope that refuses to die even when everything around you suggests it should. But I want to speak to you now with the same voice that called Lazarus out of the tomb. Because even what looks lifeless can still respond to me. Your love story is not dead. It is being resurrected. And not only am I sending someone for you, I am doing something even greater. I am redeeming your time, the years you thought were wasted. I will use them as a foundation. The seasons where you felt unseen, I was preserving. You, not hiding you. The time spent healing, rebuilding, and trying again after disappointments. None of it was meaningless. I do not operate on human timelines. I operate on divine ones. I will restore to you the years the locusts have eaten. Joel 2:25. And when this love arrives, you will not just rejoice in the person, you will rejoice in the process that prepared you. You'll finally understand why I said no when you were begging me for yes. You'll see why it took longer, why it had to be this way. Because what I'm giving you is not just a partner, it's a partner in purpose. Someone who has also been through their own refining fire. Someone who understands surrender, patience, and prayer. Someone who will not only love you, but honor you. Not only speak words of affection, but walk in the fruit of the Spirit toward you: gentleness, faithfulness, self-control, peace. You won't have to wonder if you're loved. You'll feel it in the way they protect your heart. You'll feel it in the way they pray for you, even when you're not watching. You'll feel it in the way they listen without judgment and dream with you without fear. Because I'm not just sending someone who likes you, I'm sending someone who recognizes the assignment on your life and knows they are called to walk beside it, not compete with it. And even now, while you're still waiting, I am removing the emotional residue of people who didn't have the capacity to love you right. Not because you weren't worthy, but because they weren't ready. Let that go. Stop blaming yourself for what they could not carry. Your tenderness was not weakness. Your love was not a mistake. And the one I'm sending will see all of that beauty and cover it, not crush it. This relationship will not be built on ego, but on honor. And you will feel safe, truly safe, not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually, relationally. You won't have to edit your story. You won't have to minimize your anointing. You won't have to shrink to make space. This time, you'll both fit, because I will have carved out space in both of your lives and hearts to make room for each other. And when that happens, when you finally sit across from the one I've prepared for you, your spirit will know. This is what I was waiting for. This is why it couldn't be anyone else. This is what love feels like when it's sent from heaven. So don't let time convince you that it's too late. I do not wear a watch. I dwell outside of time. And what takes 10 years in your world can take 1 moment in mine. Your story is not delayed. It is divinely timed. And what I'm about to unfold in your life will make you forget the pain of the wait. Not because it didn't matter, but because what I'm bringing is so much more than what you were holding out for. I write love stories that heal hearts, restore confidence, and glorify my name. And yours is next, daughter. Before this message closes, there is something I need you to remember and never forget. You were never disqualified from love. The enemy tried to convince you that your mistakes, your age, your past, or your heartbreak somehow made you less worthy of a meaningful, lasting connection. But I say to you now, you are still chosen, still cherished, still worthy, and still deeply loved. I didn't overlook you. I've been looking after you. I've been covering you, shielding you from what you thought you wanted, and preserving you for what you truly need. Not because I delight in delay, but because I care too much about you to hand your heart to someone who hasn't been refined. To carry it, you were never too broken to be loved. You were simply being rebuilt to be loved right. Every piece of your story, even the ones you wish didn't exist, are part of the masterpiece I am weaving. And the love that's coming will not require you to hide any of it. You will not need to act stronger than you are. You will not need to dim your light. You will not need to convince them to stay, because they will be sent, not stumbled upon. They will be prayed into your life, not pulled from desperation. And when they arrive, it will be because both of you have been prepared, both of you have been pruned, both of you have let me lead. And in that love, there will be no striving, no fear, no guessing. There will be confirmation, clarity, peace. I want you to walk into this next chapter with your head held high, not pretending to be fearless, but fully convinced that I am faithful. That even if you don't understand every step, you trust that I do. You trust that I see every day you've waited, every time you chose healing over bitterness, every moment you whispered, God, I still believe, even when you felt forgotten. That belief was not wasted. It was prophetic. It was intercession for your own future. And now that future is beginning to unfold. Not just in the form of a person, but in the form of purpose. Because this love story is not just for your comfort, it's for my glory. You and the one I am sending will not just love each other, you will bless others. Your union will carry weight in the Spirit. Your testimony will unlock hope in women who thought it was over for them. You will become proof that I write the best love stories, even after loss, even after divorce, even after years of waiting in silence. You will become a voice for those who no longer believe they are seen. And the love you receive will not just be a gift, it will be a sign that nothing is too hard for me, that I can still make rivers in the desert, that I still reward the faithful, that I still delight in giving good gifts to my daughters. Matthew 7:11. So rest, my daughter. Rest in the knowing that you are not behind. Rest in the truth that your story is not over. Rest in the peace that you haven't missed your moment. Your moment is just beginning. And as you close this message, I want you to say this out loud until it becomes truth in your bones. God is not finished with my love story. Say it again. This is not the end. This is the beginning of something sacred, because you are about to step into the kind of love that was worth every prayer, every tear, every year. And when it happens, you'll lift your hands and whisper, "He remembered me," because I did, because I always do.